Hey everybody, welcome to Northern Thailand and welcome to Warm Bin Weekends Week 14. Now I want to apologize for the late start. The reason why things got started so late is I was hoping I was going to be able to finish all the cycling, all the heat cycling and bacteria cycling that was necessary for Bin 1, but it just didn't happen. So that's the reason for the late start. So for the first time in this series, Bin 1 will not be part of the check-ins, but Bin 1 is very much actively being prepared for a video that's going to be coming up, as I've mentioned before, to show you how to properly cycle a warm bin. And what I'm doing right now, I'm putting it through the mesophilic cycle, and it currently is in the process of going thermophilic. So as soon as that completes and it cools down, I'm going to be taking some worms from bins 2 and 3 to put into bin 1 to repopulate the group in there. And we're just going to keep right on rolling. Now, so today what we're going to do is we're going to check in on bins 2 and 3 just to see how things are going. If you remember from back in week 13, what we did is we took the contents of bin 1, split it down the middle equally, and put the bedding, the castings, and the worms in bins 2 and 3 from bin 1. So it's been just a little over a week. We're going to check the status of those 2 bins, and then that is going to be it for Warm Bin Weekends for 2021. With Christmas and New Year's coming up, I'm going to go ahead and give the worms a break over these next couple of weeks. And we're going to pick things back up again in the new year in week 17, that first weekend in January, and we'll just keep right on rolling. So with all that being said, let's go check out the worms. All right, week 14, bin 2. This is a lot heavier now, picking it up out of the tub. Obviously it should be with the contents of bin 1 included into it. So I'm excited to see what we have. Okay, condensation, some fruit flies, but I guess it should be expected given the fact that it's been including bin 1. Ooh, maybe a little more than just a little. All right, leaf material looks good. Oh wow, hey, I think we have a success here. Castings do look a lot better. They still look wet, but not nearly as much as they did before I added the contents of bin 1. I mean, look at that. That's really nice. Worms up here on the top of the bedding, which means that they're probably coming up here both for warmth and maybe for food. They are going to go another 2 weeks like this. As far as, I'm not going to give any feedings, just so that you guys know, both for bin 2 here and bin 3 when we get to bin 3. I'm just going to let things ride the way they are. They've got more than enough food in here, and it looks like they've done a really good job just over this past week. I don't even see that much bedding in the way of like the cardboard that was in here. I'm sure it still is. But yeah, some worm syrup on the top. That's to be expected. Let's dig in and see how things look. Oh wow. Deep. Try not to disrupt that cardboard. Well, too late. Stick. Still kind of muddy. As you can see, the castings are still very muddy. I think those are cocoons. Guys, I don't know if you can see that or not, but those look like cocoons to me. Can you see that? If you guys can identify that, I hope you can see that clearly. Those look like cocoons. Huh. I've been told they're a lot smaller than the ones that the red wigglers and European night crawlers make, so that's interesting, especially since I just found babies not that long ago. Let's get this brought up. Well, that bottom piece of cardboard definitely did its job. These bins have not been below 70 degrees Fahrenheit at all, and we've had some pretty cold nights here, cold relatively speaking. I mean, dropping down into the mid to low 50s a couple nights. And I've been checking the temperatures consistently in the middle of the night, and they have not dropped below 70 degrees. Boy, it's still muddy. Yeah, it's still really muddy. You know what? I'm gonna have to take some of this back out once I get bin 1 cycled, because this is just too deep. This is another good argument for smaller bins. I mean, as you guys know, I use 14-gallon bins. You can see where the holes are here on the sides. I keep them low on purpose because I would never want it to get this high. This bin is already heavy with just this amount of material in it, and it's not even up to the air holes themselves. So Really, really good way to manage a bin is with these smaller bins. I mean, look at these materials. A lot of them, but very muddy. So we're gonna have to spread things out again once bin 1 is ready to go. Let's check the center here and see what the feeding area looked like. A lot of worms here on the top. Let's see what we got. Yeah, banana peels. There's the top of one. There's the cardboard I put down before I put the food on top. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah. Looks like the nursery is still in place. Look at all those worms. They are just congregated right there in the food area. Huh. Nice. Okay, well, you know what? Why don't we just leave them alone? I'm very happy right where they're at. And they definitely don't need any food right now. Let's see how things are going over here. Yep, muddy. But lots of worms. Lots of worms. Yes, there should be. I mean, bin 1 is in here. Part of it, at least. That's a big worm. Where he went. Let's see. Pretty muddy stuff. And again, fluffing things up like this, especially when they're this wet, real important to keep things from going anaerobic. It's a good thing to do once a week, once every 2 weeks. You don't want to, if it's this wet, you wouldn't want to go in this long for, say, a month or something like that. It's just, yeah. All right, I'm going to definitely, once bin 1 is cycled and ready to go, I'm not only going to be bringing over 100 worms for each one of these bins, I'm going to be bringing over some of these castings and just try to get things leveled out a little bit again in the way of just hopefully getting them dried out. I may have to use some old school methods here. When bins used to get this wet, what we used to do is we used to take like a handful of them and put them under a light. But there's one problem with that with African night crawlers. African night crawlers are not afraid of the light like red wigglers and Europeans are. They don't have a problem with it at all. They don't run from it, and as best I know, it doesn't kill them. But they definitely are not shy of the light. I think more than anything else, they just like the comfort of wherever it is their home is, and it's just what drives them down. Okay, but that's gonna do it for bin 2. We're gonna check in on bin 3 now. Same thing, just a check-in like this, but I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you liked the video. I hope you'll share the video. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and hit the bell notification icon if you would, so you can be alerted when I upload new content. And listen, wherever you are in this world today or tonight, you take care. Bye for now.